we're going to be reacting and discussing some of the most insane comments from Star Wars fans on Twitter. In case you all didn't know, Dave Filoni recently on an interview, he said that Anakin Skywalker was the greatest Jedi of all time who trained Ahsoka when talking about the Ahsoka show. Fans are not happy, and let's just take a look at this because it's kind of hilarious. This tweet from Culture Crave. I've not looked at a lot of these tweets, so we're gonna look at them and react to them and address some of them. But they are insane. It's crazy whenever you say something like this because it's so subjective that people are going to feel very strongly about it. So, tweet from Culture Crave. Dave Filoni says Anakin Skywalker is the greatest Jedi of all time. Let's just take a look. Some people agree. Some people, some people don't. Ahsoka is the right answer. Nice try, Dave. Well, Red Sox guy. Ahsoka is not a Jedi, if you remember. Boom. someone commented on there. You definitely get bullied talking to the Red Sox guy. That's hilarious. I love that. I love that. All right, let's see. No, just straight up no. From Jay Core. Just no. Anakin had the greatest potential that was left unrealized when he fell to the dark side. Luke became what Anakin was meant to be, at least pre-Disney Luke did. Okay. So I kind of agree with that, to be honest. Because I personally don't think Anakin was the greatest Jedi of all time. I do think he was the chosen one to bring balance to the Force by eliminating the Sith. But yeah, I mean, Luke pretty much became exactly what Anakin was destined to become, and then I do think Disney kind of ruined the character a little bit. But it's pretty funny because you could make the debate that Anakin actually was the greatest Jedi of all time. He was also ahead of his time because of the connections that he wanted to form, and the other Jedi obviously just weren't having it, which is why he wasn't granted the rank of master along with a bunch of other things. Oh yeah, here we go. Now we're bringing in some Legends characters. Let's go. I knew it. I knew Revan would pop up pretty early on. So Wally World's saying Revan. Just posting a gif of Revan. Fantastic. Good choice. Good choice. Revan's sick. Although greatest Jedi of all time, one of the greatest stories that you could argue for. 100%. Revan is one of the most interesting characters in all of Star Wars, but they still haven't explored that story in canon. They just kind of mention him every now and then. Okay, so some people agree like this. Yes, he's the chosen one. He's the one that eventually brought balance to the Force. But did he? Is the real question now that Disney has a hold of canon and they're kind of, getting all into it. Kind of messing a lot of stuff up. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are going to agree with this because Anakin obviously is a wonderful character. One of the most tragic characters in fiction. It's really funny. Really funny to read some of these people's reactions. Interpersonally, yes. Okay. Anakin was taken advantage of. But during the Clone Wars, his out-of-the-box and unconventional thinking liberated hundreds of worlds. Okay? He could have changed the Jedi to be more in touch with the innermost, which is kind of what I was saying earlier, innermost emotions, and let what they're fighting for make them better. It's kind of what I was talking about earlier with the connections and the attachments. I think he was just ahead of his time, to be honest. Man. Yeah, here we go. So, J Core coming again, commenting on other people's stuff. Luke absolutely became what Anakin was supposed to be. Even though Luke didn't bring balance to the Force, it was Anakin in the end. 100%. But then Disney, yeah, whatever. We don't talk about Disney. We don't talk about it. And it's fine if you like the Disney stuff. No problem at all. But I would love to hear a case for why they're good. All right. So Anakin is certainly a great and very tragic character, but I argue that there are Jedi who embody the values of the Order much better and are therefore greater Jedi. I'm curious who they think is a greater Jedi, because a lot of the Jedi, it's probably not portrayed very well within the films and the animation and stuff, but a lot of the Jedi have their own little dark secrets, little skeletons in the closet, whether it be about attachments, using the dark side of the Force, studying the dark side of the Force. A lot of people, Mace Windu, using the Shatterpoint method, which is I mean, he kind of dabbled in both a little bit. Obi-Wan obviously had some other attachments, and it kind of seems like Yoda had some attachment to Yaddle, potentially, with Grogu coming into the mix now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's a tough one to say. That's a tough one to say on that argument. They're saying Andy's right. Oh, here we go. Tyler Wren. Wonder who he thinks is the best. Anakin could have been the greatest Jedi, but his personal flaws prevented that. Perhaps if Qui-Gon mentored Annie instead. See, I see this a lot. But honestly, I still think that the Jedi, the Council, would have viewed Qui-Gon and Anakin as like these outcasts of the Jedi. They're not following the order properly. They're not doing all these things that they should be doing. So that's a really tough one. That's kind of like a what if scenario. So it's hard to look at that. Let's see. These Jedi younglings prove that to be a false statement. That's kind of the point of the character of Anakin, is that there's never a point in your life that it's too late to turn back. You can always be good. And yeah, he should, if he would have survived it, he would have spent the rest of his entire life trying to make up for the things that he did, because it was terrible, slaughtering younglings like that and pretty much eliminating the Jedi, almost eliminating the Jedi. Seems like there's more and more Jedi pop up every now and then, but yeah, I mean, I think this is the main argument against Anakin being the greatest Jedi of all time, because he did switch over. But then you kind of look at like people saying Revan, and it's like, okay, he kind of did both. Yeah, I don't know. The guy just, what is this supposed to mean? I thought it was pretty simple. He just means he's the greatest Jedi of all time. You got to remember too that Dave was mentored by George, and George has said that the entire story's always been about Anakin, always has been, him and his kids. So he's always said that he's the chosen one. So maybe some of that's like rubbed off on Dave as well. Here we go. This might be a good one. Okay. Anakin is my favorite Star Wars character by far, but I don't know if I would say that he is the greatest Jedi in quotations, ever, since he struggled and failed at personally upholding the Jedi's philosophy, way of life, and ideals. Again, it's one of those interesting things that most of the Jedi, they always have their pitfalls. That's the thing. That's it. It's not very well explored for every individual character, because the movies and the Star Wars universe isn't about them. Like, we could deep dive into Plo Koon and find these flaws within him. We could deep dive into Mace Windu and find these flaws within him, and it goes the same for every single Jedi. So again, this is just one of those debates that's going to go on forever, because it's just not, like, George Lucas himself could say, yes, Anakin Skywalker or Luke is the greatest Jedi of all time. Undebatable. He's the one that created Star Wars. People would still argue it, because they have their own opinions, and that's great. All right, let's see. I love Anakin, but no. He is the most naturally gifted and one of the most powerful, but Obi-Wan Kenobi represents everything the Jedi stood for. To me, Obi-Wan is the greatest Jedi. At least they said, to me. And again, this is all opinion, 100% opinion. That's a good take. Obi-Wan, obviously, he had those attachments. He's kind of disobeyed the order every now and then, but he's a very much by the rules character, and that's kind of how the Jedi are. The Jedi, you have to remember, the Jedi is a religion, so you can be Jedi and follow that religion, and that's really what Obi-Wan did. Is he stuck to the rules and he followed those religions, and he tried not to get caught up in all these prophecies like Qui-Gon did. If you read any of the canon novels, you really see this start to take hold, and it's really interesting. Obi-Wan's a good argument for greatest Jedi of all time. We're talking like purely just Jedi following the religion, sticking to the rules. Possibly, but again, he still has some of those pitfalls because he did have relations. I don't know. Let's see. Agreed. They don't win the Clone Wars without him. Obi-Wan couldn't keep up with half the stuff that he was doing. I see, and that goes to like the power difference of Anakin and Obi-Wan. Every Jedi's good at very different things. Obi-Wan's a very defensive fighter. You see that in Revenge of the Sith, and pretty much anytime he ever fights, he's very defensive, and he just kind of lets his opponent wear themselves out, and then when it's time for him to attack, then that's what he does. But Anakin's obviously really strong in the Force, one of the strongest ever, right there with Luke and Palpatine, obviously, but Palpatine on the opposite side of the spectrum there. But Mello here brings up a really, is that Mello? I can't read. Wavy, yeah, Mello. Wavy Mello. Obi-Wan's 2-0 versus a prime Anakin and Vader. He is undefeated against Anakin. Even in A New Hope, at the end of the movie, when Vader cuts him down, Obi-Wan just becomes one with the Force. He won that fight. Even then, he won. So, Anakin never beat Obi-Wan in a fight. Like an actual one where they're actually trying to kill each other. So, it's really interesting. Let's see. Yeah, that's literally the lore behind 6 of the 9 films, aka the real ones. They know. Astro knows. Astro knows what's up. By far the change that has at the last taken care of his own son. What did I just read? By far the change that has at the last taken care of his own son was the best decision ever he ever took. My mind's blown. What did I just read? Yeah, I'm just gonna I don't even know what that means. I don't even know. It's really interesting to see all these very different takes. Let's see. XDB, so Xavier here. I mean, he was, for how fast he was growing and his potential, definitely the only person that could come close where Luke and arguably Galen and Rey oh, that's kind of cringe, bro. I don't know. I can't do it. If Rey's your favorite character, I don't know. I can't help you. Obviously, it's all jokes, so if you get butthurt in the comments, not my problem. Oh man. Okay, now people are starting to take it into like different conversations. If it's not Anakin, it has to be Luke. Okay. So pretty. Was he under heavy medication? Man, these people are crazy. Let's see. Yeah, but he failed the destiny. He failed the destiny he was chosen for. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know why I'm having trouble here. You can say he redeemed himself at the end, but in general, he ultimately failed because he became what he set out to destroy. Yeah, but he still destroyed it. So, I don't know. I don't know, maybe sometimes these comments don't come off across, like, they don't come off how people want them to come off, and they don't sound properly. They don't, what did I say? They don't sound proper in the message they're trying to convey. This guy just says, I don't know about that one, Chief. Obi-Wan, then Luke, then Anakin. So he's putting Anakin third. Wow. Okay. I mean, I could see third. I could see someone making an argument for that. Absolutely. I don't even know who I would say is the best Jedi, actually. Because with Disney canon, before I would have said Luke. But now we see that he just didn't learn anything. So, I don't know. That's a really tough question. Bro really chose Anakin after writing 4 seasons of a show that solidified Kanan as not only the best Jedi in current canon, but one of the best characters in Star Wars, period. This is the first time I'm seeing Kanan here, and it's a shame, really, because he's a fantastic Jedi. He had the attachments, but he still followed the Jedi Code. He did really good things in the galaxy, helping people. Kanan's a strong choice, and I think he's super underrated. I think his death was chef's kiss. Fantastic. Really good death. I loved that he went blind and connected even deeper with the Force. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Let's see. This could have said Anakin Skywalker says Dave Filoni is the greatest cowboy of all time, and I would have cared just as much. Well, Danny, you cared enough to comment, so funny. All right, if he means strongest, then yeah, but if he means greatest at being a Jedi, then it's easily Luke or Obi-Wan. A lot of Obi-Wan picks. A lot of Obi-Wan picks. And I hope this video sparks a lot of conversation, because I think it's really funny, and I love to see these debates. I would please debate in the comments, because I want to see everybody's opinions on this, because Twitter, honestly, they just this a real tweet in 2023. It's wild. Man, I highly recommend go and read some of these comments. Please do. That's gonna be it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this comment reading and discussion on who the greatest Jedi of all time is, please let me know in the comments. Drop a like on this video and make sure you subscribe for a lot more content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.